It was a Tuesday morning, and I woke up with the kind of enthusiasm usually reserved for a dentist appointment. The sun was shining, birds were chirping, and my bed was calling me like a siren, luring sailors to their doom. I lay there contemplating the existential crisis that is high school. Why do we subject ourselves to this daily grind of monotony? I mean, who needs math when you can calculate how many hours of sleep you can get if you just skip today? Spoiler alert, it's a lot. So, I made the executive decision to skip class. It felt like I was making a bold political statement. I am taking a stand against the oppressive regime of Algebra 2, I thought, as I rolled over and buried my head in my pillow. I had it all planned out. I would tell my friends I was sick, the kind of sick that involves Netflix, snacks, and a blanket fort. I donned my best "I'm definitely not skipping school" outfit, which consisted of pajamas that I somehow convinced myself looked like a chic ensemble. I could practically hear my mom's voice in my head. "You're going to regret this." But honestly, what's regret when you have a whole day of freedom ahead of you? I settled into my blanket fort, armed with popcorn and a remote. The first episode of my favorite show played, and I felt like I had won the lottery. As the plot thickened, I realized my first mistake. I hadn't factored in the guilt. Ah, yes, the guilt. It creeps in like an unwanted relative at a family reunion. What if my teacher notices I'm gone? What if my friends think I'm a loser for skipping? What if I miss the day they teach how to find X? Okay, maybe that last one was a stretch, but you get the idea. 2 hours in, I was feeling pretty good about my decision. I was a renegade, a rebel without a cause, a high school dropout, for a day. But then, my phone buzzed. It was my friend Sarah, the class overachiever, who was clearly not skipping. "Hey, we had a pop quiz today. You missed it." My heart sank. A pop quiz? The one thing I had been dreading? I could almost hear the collective gasps of my classmates as they filled in their answer sheets. I imagined them whispering, "Where's Jason? He must be failing at life. Poor guy." Panic set in. I had to do damage control. I texted Sarah back, "What did I miss?" She responded with a barrage of information that felt like a foreign language. The quadratic formula, the Pythagorean theorem, and a surprise lecture on the importance of being present. The importance of being present? Oh, the irony. Here I was, present in my blanket fort, but absent from the classroom where knowledge was supposedly being imparted. I decided to throw myself into damage control mode. I would need to study like a caffeinated squirrel before the next class. I grabbed my notes and tried to make sense of the chaos that was Algebra 2. But instead of focusing on the math, I found myself thinking about how I had traded a day of equations for a day of escapism. As the hours passed, I learned something profound. Skipping class is like eating a whole pizza by yourself. Initially, it feels incredible, but then you realize you're going to have to face the consequences later. I spent the rest of the day in a frenzy, cramming information into my brain like a squirrel preparing for winter. So there I was, a high school student who had skipped class, only to realize that sometimes the real lesson is about balance. Yes, sometimes we need to escape, but we also need to show up. I may have missed the quadratic formula, but I learned that every choice has its price. And sometimes that price is a pop quiz you didn't study for.